Good evening. My name is Sujit Menon. I work as Director Operations with Greenwall Group. Let me just take some time to introduce our speaker once again for this evening. She is Mrs. Jayashree Radharavi. We had put up her portfolio on our website, but let me take the liberty to introduce once again. She comes with a wealth of experience, almost a decade and a half, that's like 15 years. Her background is from chemical engineering, and she has moved all the way into process safety and fire protection, particularly in the oil and gas projects. She is an NFPA certified fire protection specialist, which is what we're going to talk about into a detail today. And last but not the least, she's also a certified functional expert in safety engineering from TUE Sud. You probably heard of TUE. She also holds a NIBOSH International Technical Certificate qualification in oil and gas, and is also a process safety management and fire protection trainer. So there's a whole lot more, which is why I said she's all in a nutshell. And I'd really like to thank Jayashree for taking the time of today to be with us as part of this webinar. And with that, I shall just hand over the reins briefly to her. She would run through the session for this evening. Thank you for tuning in once again. Jayashree, all yours.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. Thank you, Sujit, for the introduction, and he also introduced me. So I think I should not be taking time on introducing myself again. Okay. So I briefed you about what is CFPRs, and the next question is, how can I get this credential? What is the process? Okay. So this is, you cannot get this without being successful in an exam. So there's a certification exam offered by NFPA. This is a 3 hours proctored computer-based exam. So this is a computer-based exam. In US, actually, NFPA is US based. In US, you can get even the paper-based exams. But all over the world, from any place, you can go for this exam, but this as a computer-based exam. All over the world, ISO test centers are there available that you can find out, whichever is near to you, but more convenient to you. So this is a 3 hours exam, computer-based exam, and it's a multiple choice question type exam. And there will be 100 questions. And another thing is, it's an open book exam. Open book in the sense using NFPA Fire Protection Handbook. So don't think that, okay, this is an open book exam, I can do that. Yes, you can do that, but you will have to surely, invest some time in going through the book. With your knowledge, maybe you can answer some questions, because you may be working in the field, you may be working in the same profession, so you will have some knowledge based on in which area you are working. See, for example, I am working in oil and gas, so and oil and gas also in design. So in the design ways, I will be very much familiar, and I will be knowledgeable, and easily maybe I will be able to answer many questions. But something related to the building, like design, building fire protection design, the egress design, or in this kind of occupancy, what it is, I may not be that familiar. After going through this, I will have the overall concept and understanding, and I know where to look for, what standard to look for. Now I know, and from using this book, I know where to look into if I want to guide somebody. But that's why everybody will not be master in everything. So that's why NFPA is proposing to use this NFPA Fire Protection Handbook. It's a really heavy book. There are 2 volumes. Into that I will come later. So it's not that easy unless you're familiar with this Fire Protection Handbook. Okay. Because we can see that there are 100 questions, and 3 hours means 100 questions, and you have got 180 minutes. So you are hardly getting 1.8 minutes per question. So it's an advantage that you can use this resource, at exam center. But of course, you will have to get familiarized with the book. And once you apply through the website, once your application is approved, you will get 12 months period or a 1 year period to pass the exam. Within 1 year, of the approval date, you will have to go for the, you'll have to book in any of the test centers available near to you, and you have to sit for the exam and pass it. That is the 1 month time. Sorry, 1 year time. And another thing, okay, so we came to know how is the exam, what is the, what you need to expect for the exam. Next is, what is the eligibility requirement? Does it, mandate any specific eligibility requirement? Can I go for that? That will be the many questions. Many people, even through LinkedIn are asking me like, can I do that? What is the eligibility requirement? How can I prepare? Okay, this session is an answer for that as well. So regarding the eligibility criteria, a specific degree is not mandatory for obtaining this CFPS designation. NFPA is awarding this credential to any candidate with a proportional balance of education and experience in this field, okay, and who has successfully passed out of this examination. So to be eligible to take this exam, you must document your registration for or application form with the, the competency document, whatever it is requesting. So there are 3 options NFPA is giving regarding the eligibility requirement in terms of education and experience. The first one is, if you have a bachelor's or a master's degree in a fire protection related discipline, or, do you have a degree in any engineering field, that's fine. But with 2 years of verifiable work experience in fire protection related field. Okay, so as long as you have 2 years of verifiable work experience in the fire protection field, so I will clarify it again. This verifiable work experience in fire protection means if your primary job role involves reducing the risk of fire occurrence, either by design, engineering, inspection, by code enforcement as a regulatory professional, or reducing the physical damage or loss of life, or financial loss in the event of a fire, like a fire service, or working in risk engineering, or working in fire protection design, installation, or in insurance, yes, you can. You are eligible in terms of the work experience. So that experience will apply. So if you do not have this bachelor's degree in, engineering or in fire protection, that's still fine. Do you have an associate degree in fire protection related field? Fire protection, see, nowadays there are many universities or colleges inside India or outside in foreign universities providing degrees in fire protection engineering, fire science, fire protection technology, fire service administration. So any of those. So do you have an associate degree that in any of these subjects? Or a bachelor's or a master's degree in any unrelated field? It is not necessary that it should be in engineering field. Any unrelated field, bachelor's degree, okay. Then with 4 years of verifiable work experience, you can go for this. If you even don't have that, okay, what is the last option? Yes. Do you have a high school diploma or equivalent? And on the job, you have gained your, experience, knowledge of fire protection and in the safety management. Do you have a 6 years of experience and you are confident and you want to improve to go for a higher level of your career, and you want to achieve this credential with the 6 years of verifiable work experience, you can go for that. The term verifiable means, at the initial stage of your application, NFPA will not be asking for such a proof, but it will ask for all the details of your work related things and your resume and your work experience certificate and your references wherever you have worked, all those. But immediately they may not be auditing it or validating it, but they always have the right to validate it. That's why it should be verifiable. Okay, so this is about the eligibility requirement. So what's next? So which are the common designations or the professions going for this CFPS certification, or the CFPS certified people? They are serving which type of industries or which type of common positions they serve. Okay, let's see. Loss control, loss prevention specialist, that may be a designation. who are working in this field, or fire officers, fire marshals, fire inspectors, then fire and safety designers, engineers, consultants, managers, safety and risk professionals, code enforcers, facility managers, project engineers, project managers, because as part of their project, there will be a part of the scope will be, even if a building or an oil and gas or a chemical process plant, whatever it is, a part of the project will be for the safe design or the safe installation. So they will have to, see that their engineers are giving you the best option, the best design as per the international codes and standards. NFPA is an international standard, right? And the client, whenever they are asking for more things, you should be able to justify that. See, this is what is NFPA code is mandating, this requirement for this kind of a facility or for this kind of a problem or for this solution. This is what is required. So we are meeting that. So if the project engineers should be able to tell that, they should have a knowledge of what their engineers are giving and what the client is asking, and we are having a balance of that, or we are meeting that. So that is why project engineers or project managers are also going for this certification. So in a nutshell, see, all those who are directly or indirectly involved in fire and safety related roles can go for this certification. And common industries served like property insurance, facilities or property managers, fire service, designers, engineers, consultants, so consultancies, contractors, petroleum, chemical, pharmaceutical industries. Yes, there also you need to see what are the hazards in our industry during at the time of a project, as when it is starting, from the layout, from the equipment arrangement, or even in each aspect, even how you can safeguard your facility. So different industries come with a different kind of risk. So threats will be different. How you can minimize the consequences, how you can prevent the ignition, or how you can prevent the fire, how you can manage it safely. That is depending upon the nature of different businesses. So next, utility, manufacturing, healthcare, government, hotel. See, even healthcare in hospitals, you need to see it is not like in any other facility. In a normal apartment, what you need to provide is different, and in a healthcare facility, what safety features or provisions you have to provide, especially the egress design, exit design, and all, it's different. Because in healthcare, you have to expect that there will be many patients who will not be able to move on their own. So you will have to have more provisions in place. Okay, so how to apply? I told you already that this is from an examination, you will have to get this credential. So for this examination, how to apply? So you can complete your online application at the CFPS online services platform website. This website operates independently from NFPS website. So there you are required to create your own profile with login credentials and all. Then you can access the online application. That's how you can apply. Is there any fees? Yes, of course. NFPA for the CFPS examination, the payment is $350. That is the examination fee that you have to pay by your credit card or by bank transaction at the website, along with the document submission. So you will have to submit certain documents reflecting your work experience, reflecting your educational background, meeting the criteria what we specified before, the eligibility requirement. Also, you will have to sign a copy of the Code of Conduct and Ethics Declaration from NFPA, because once you get the credential, you are required to follow some codes and ethics. And once you submit your application, NFPA will review it, and within maximum 15 business days, you will get the authorization letter. That is the approval for going for the exam. So this authorization letter will be received with the exam scheduling instructions, like you will get a link of to access this examination centers, and there any of the examination centers locations available near to you, you can look for, you can book a timing, suitable timing. There will be different time slots. You can book your exam. Okay, so this is how you can apply. And some people ask like, okay, if I fail the exam, what I can do? What is the next thing? Yes, if you fail the exam, you can go for a retest, but that is with a additional fee of 175 USD during this 1 year period after your initial approval date. Within this 1 year period, you can attempt for retest 2 additional times with 175 USD. And after that, for a third application, if you are again failing, means you will have to resubmit you will have to submit the application again from the application process. Again, you will have to restart. And to maintain the certification, do you have any annual fee? Yes, annually 125 USD is the fee you will have to pay at the anniversary date of your certification every year. Also recertification, yes, every 3 years you will have to recertify your certification. For recertification, you have to demonstrate or you have to submit the proof for your continuous professional development to show that you are in the same profession, you are upgrading yourself, you are undergoing the continuous professional development. For that, you will have to declare, or you will have to claim, or you will have to showcase some 50 points. So these 50 points are coming from some categories, like you can show that you are practicing your profession, so that that category can claim some points, as well as if you are a member in any of the fire and safety or related organizations, that through that you can claim some points. And if you are during this 3 year period, if you are getting certified in any other things, any other certification related to fire and safety, or any other trainings you are attending, or you are voluntary professional service related to CFPS or other organization, training, professional development, attending a training seminars, or teaching a course or a seminar, or you are publishing something related to this, still you can, all this can, with the all these carries some weightage for claiming the points. So as long as you are able to claim 50 points, you can recertify. That is the process. Okay, so this is the NFPA training and certification page in their NFPA.org website. Here you can get all the information required for regarding the CFPS. What all you need to know, how to apply, what are the eligibility requirements, and the link to go for this application, everything. And also you can see there are a quite number of list of training and certification offered by NFPA other than this. But most of these trainings or most of other certification, if you see, that's to a limited focus, like a fire alarm or a fire inspector or a water-based certified water-based professional, like that. But a certified fire protection specialist is the highest credential offered by NFPA, because this is covering everything, starting from the design, managing, inspecting, testing of each kind of system. And you will get to know a vast, variety of the fire protection concepts, different concepts utilized in different types of industries, woodworking or agricultural or plastic industry, chemical industry, how to store and handle gas fuels or solid fuels or liquid fuels, everything. Even plastics manufacturing or HVAC, refrigeration, how you handle, what all precautions you need to take care, or which are NFPA standards relevant to that. NFPA codes and standards, even other codes and standards also, NFPA is in the NFPA FPH handbook, it is giving a cross reference to other NFPA standards and other standards also, like ANSI, API, American Petroleum Institute. So that is the significance of this CFPS credential. Next, coming to use of this CFPS credential. Okay, I got the CFPS credential. How can I use this? Because I am working as an employee in somewhere, and how this is going to benefit me. Okay, as long as you are maintaining your active certification status by annual renewal, and as well as every 3 years recertification by keeping your professional development, the continuous professional development, you can use this credential, by claiming yourself as a CFPS holder. Once you get it, you can use this designation along with your name in your business cards, in your personal letterhead, in your resume, in your websites. If you are having your own company, in your website, you can say that your resources, your engineers, or your staff are having, your resources with a CFPS designation. CFPS designation holders are there in your team. And even in your email signature, in your emails, you can mention this CFPS designation. As well as the CFPS logo, you can display along with your name and address. That is another thing, another way of using the CFPS credential to your advantage, to your career advantage, for your professional advantage. And this is CFPS professional directory page. Okay, so all those CFPS professionals details will be entered into this directory with their permission once they are certified. So if you want to see like someone is really CFPS or not, because they are claiming, you can check here as well. It depends on what address they are feeding in the CFPS directory. See, for example, with my name, if somebody is checking like Jayasri Radha Devi, and country is UAE, even though I am an Indian national, I am here residing from last 13 years, and I took my CFPS certification while I was in UAE. So in my address given to the NFPA or CFPS page, I mentioned it as UAE. So if somebody check as UAE, or with my first name and last name, they can catch me in the CFPS directory. This is another advantage of maintaining your credential. Thank you, all of you.